small, that really the person we used to be before the world told us who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you think about being very young, like your innate talents, abilities, the questions you ask, were you a rugged child? Were you a soft, emotional child? Like just the person who you were. So when we work on our inner child, most of the times, like if we think that we have like a temper or like an attitude problem, or I know I snap when people talk about this, it's probably because there's some damage and some work that was done to our inner child. So for example, I always use an example, like I try not to ask too many questions, because when I was younger, they were like, you talk too much, quit asking all them questions, you and grown folks conversations, like just different stuff. And so I'd be like, I would be nervous, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about your inner child as like the person that you were, the young, innocent person before the world told you who you were supposed to be, that typically is a person who was silenced, who might have been harmed. So we know within in the African-American community, there's a lot of kids where molestation was something that was real.
Right.
Sexual trauma and violence has been real. So that inner child may be silenced. It also may be, you may not have been able to be a child. So I think about most people who are Black or African American, and parents may have come from like the Great Migration, so everybody from down south, but they may not have been able to be a child. They may have been 9 years old with the real job, or they may have been 11 years old knowing like in the Jim Crow South. That's some deep stuff when you are 11 years old,
Right.
and you're seeing and you understand this is how I'm supposed to operate in this world. But it could be an inner child that needs healing, or it could have been just, our parents did the best that they could do.
Right.
Our parents did the best that they can do.
And that's
And not only that,
yeah,
because my mother had to work. So all the rest of the siblings, and I was just like probably about 10, and I had to take care of the rest of them. It was 7 of us. I was, you froze up again.
Everything messing up.
Mm.
There we go.
And so if you think about that, sometimes like our inner child may not have even been able to develop because we had to advance so much. And so our parents can do what they can do, but sometimes there's some trauma and some healing that we need to happen. But we have to reparent our inner child. So we have to look at ourselves, who we used to be, and try to get in touch with that. I was doing some work with the group, but also with myself, because I don't have a relationship at all with my father. And just some visualization exercises about what I would say to him, and me not being attached to the end result has been really helpful and freeing, because my inner child, my 9-year-old, doesn't trust people because my father lied to me so much when I was younger. So I'm not a person, words don't mean nothing. You can tell me you love me. You can say you're proud of me, you care about me. That don't mean nothing. If you show up for me, if you that is more than anyone can ever say. Because my 9-year-old self, oh man, I'm frozen.
You back.
You back.
Okay.
You back.
Yeah. So like my 9-year-old self just don't trust people because of my father.
Yeah.
And so when we continue to do that, and we continue to like, just be the person for ourselves that we would have wished we would have had growing up, that can be really helpful.
Yeah.
Or like those behaviors that we, learned growing up that might not have been the healthiest, like eat all the food on your plate. You sitting here stuffing your plate, stuffing your mouth as a 6-year-old, and you grow up with like, oh, I can't stop eating. It's because we always used to clean our plate.
Yeah, because she sure did, but I said that too.
Yeah. And if grandma was around, she was loading your plate up. So you had enough for 2 people.
I know. I'm like, I don't eat this much. I'm like, I don't eat all of this, and I gotta eat that. I gotta eat everything on that plate.
Right. Or get in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So wow.
Yes.
Right. So you've been involved in some really deep stuff. I mean,
I know.
And
I don't see no psychology degree on here.
No, I don't either. That's what I was wondering.
Did you leave that one out?
Right, and it's important stuff though, because we can't fix what's wrong with us if we don't know where it came from. Can't do it. We put a Band-Aid on
generational curses are real. Generational trauma is real.
No family traditions. No.
And I always think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if we think, there's a book called Post-Traumatic Slave Disorder.
Okay.
And it talks about like generations of people, Black people impacted by slavery. and how it's been passed down. And I was like,
Mhm.
think about the healing that has to happen when you like, I don't even act like this because of me. I act like this because
Right.
2 generations ago, like some things we do, thinking about like there was research about like whoopings and why Black people beat their kids, quote unquote.
Right.
And it was
Mhm.
because during the slavery times, a Black mother would ask to discipline their child instead of the child being disciplined by like the rice drivers or like the other people on the plantation. And therefore they would be stern because I'm like, I have to tell you, you cannot act out of line. You cannot do this. And that's the
Mhm.
reason I'm so stern, because I need to protect you. So it's just a lot of different things that we pass down, but
Oh,
we're just now starting to have the conversation about mental health. And if you just remember, like we have access to more education than our parents have had.
yes.
And so we still late. We just talking about healing and loving each other and all this stuff, loving a marriage. Because back in the day, it was just like, I mean, you might not have all that much love in a marriage, but we're married.
But we're married. Right. And the thing about this is it's so funny how marriages lasted longer when it was just we married than when we got
Mhm.
when we started adding all the extra stuff onto it,
Mhm.
finding ourselves, if you will. Then
Mhm.
that's when we started having problems with the family unit, actually. So,
Mhm.
but I mean, it's like, and I'll tell you, because we said we didn't know which way this interview was going. We didn't know, and you went down the road we wasn't even thinking about going down. I'm telling you, and I'm loving it. Really, and sad part is like I didn't record the first part of the interview. Oops. Don't worry about it. I'm talking. No, that's for the other folks. It ain't for you. So now you did the
Intersectionality.
well, no, but right, but dealing with the inner
fraternities,
child, and
inner
dealing with
child.
the women's focus groups. So the new job you're going to, you gonna be doing the same stuff, or you gonna be focusing on a whole nother area?
I'll be in a whole different area. I'll be working at for the city instead of at the university, so completely away from university. But I will be doing diversity and inclusion, like
Wow.
workshops and trainings for the staff. And I also plan citywide events like Juneteenth, maybe some of the MLK celebrations.
Yeah.
And I don't really know. I don't know everything yet.
Right. But so it sounds like you what you'll be doing will be on a larger scale than what you've been doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of just dealing with the college life, you'll be dealing with life in general, which is
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I want to go back to that healing process. I was looking into this holistic.
Yeah.
So I like all that all these parts of the whole thing, just work on the whole body, not just that part.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your challenge with that?
Well, I think that how I grew up, and you all know, like, I don't mind sharing, but my mom passed when I was 18, and everything happened so fast. We still never got a really conclusive way that she passed or what was a sickness. But I do know that she was a single Black mother who worked to make sure her kids had what they had on her own, and always did what she had to do. So I'm like, what if she had a chance to rest? What if she had a chance to have a different diet, access to education as far as like better foods? What if she was not working so much and not working all the day? Great, I love my church, but not using all her time outside of us to work at the church. And she could have actually rested. What if she could have actually had a Sabbath? What if she would have just had just more, right? And I think about stuff like that. So when I think about a holistic approach to healing, it's like, it's not just about like the therapy. Yes, I wish she would have been able to go to therapy too. But it's the therapy, but it's just like, the essential oils that can help relieve stress. It's the walking, it's the better access to food and understanding we don't got to eat that no more because we can afford to buy this.
Right.
It's just breathing. It's just taking care of ourselves and other people, and knowing that we don't have to take care of the whole block, and we don't have to be codependent and pretty much say, this one person got to save everything and everybody, but like just this form of healing and liberation that really comes from knowing that I'm good. God always got me. My family will always be right. I don't have to chase money. And I can find natural remedies to stay healthy. And so I think that's kind of what I think about. I think about the holistic approach is medicine ain't always the best. It's Western medicine. It's all meant to it's all an industry.
Right. It's an industry.
But that's all we know.
Right. Because we just wanted a quick fix anyway. You know what I'm saying? We don't want we don't want to really do the work. We just want stuff to sustain us. You know what I'm saying?
Fix ain't never quick though.
Right.
It lasts forever.
It ain't.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they make sure that all those little remedies that, like you said, when we was going to foreign countries and you know that they could take the leaf off the tree that was medicine. I was like, what? And then we paying for, and it was for many uses.
Right.
You know?
Wow. Do y'all have family like from down south?
Oh yeah.
Who don't?
And they just like, it'd be like you cough and they be like, go ahead and put this on your chest. And you be like, I don't know what this is.
I know.
It was a tablespoon of bleach. It was a little flour from outside, and I'm better.
Not only that, some fried bacon grease.
Yep. And like the food was different. Like you would go out, go get that watermelon from outside, go get them greens from outside, go get, like when we had our own gardens and stuff, like we had more control over what that looked like. And I'm like, if we could get back to that,
right,
you know, things will be a lot different.
Yeah, a friend of mine has a real nice garden.
We're gonna need to with this pandemic.
Yeah, because they don't look like it's going away anytime soon. Not with folks.
It don't, and
doing what they want to do.
Well, you know, the Lord's time,
and everybody want money.
Yes, the things that He's taking from them, and they still can't. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a clue. Don't have a clue.
So with all that you just talked about, and I still want to go back to this one thing. You got diversity, inclusion, and emergency management. So you created that journal, Grateful AF, Gratitude. So all that led you to the journal, and tell us about the premise behind it.
Oh no, the journal came as a result of. So when I turned 30, nobody told me that life was going to like be as bad as it was. It was just a lot. 30 was just a rough year. And I lost friends. I lost like close friends. I'm telling you, like people I thought was ride or die. They started acting fake. And then I was actually dating a guy, and I was dating him for about a year, and he ended up getting killed at work. Through gun violence. So 30 was just a rough year for me. And I remember that once I was like, you know, my life has always been kind of rough, and I've just gotten used to it being rough. But one thing that my pastor used to have me do is like, just write down a book of blessings, like write down something good that happened. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. So some days it was like, I guess I got milk in my cereal. Like I don't feel blessed today. But that led me to my gratitude journal, because I had to like pull myself out of that one. And so I was, you know, going through a really bad bout of depression and anxiety. I didn't realize that I had depression and anxiety ever since my mom passed. So that was like, at that time, it was probably 12 or 13 years. But I had normalized it, right? Like I say, I'm resilient.
Right.
Girl, that was anxiety, but I said, I'm resilient. I'm gonna overcome it. So when I'm like, who all gonna be there, you know, making sure I got myself together, that wasn't just me being resilient and strong. It was just the fact that I was actually anxious. And then being, you know, depression, being very, very sad during certain months. I didn't realize that I had seasonal depression until I moved to Texas, and it wasn't winter all the time. But like my bad months is August through November, I am just sad and depressed. And so all of that combined, I was also taking medication, which I definitely appreciated my anxiety and depression medication, because it helped me to get out of the bed. So I appreciated that. And so when I started taking medication and really start trying to write down everything I was grateful for, at least for one day, sometimes it was just like, I got milk for cereal. Sometimes it was like, I got gas in my tank. Other times it was like, oh, okay, I got something good at work happened. But I tried to go throughout the day and write down something that I was grateful for. And that really helped shift my perspective. So even the day that the guy I was dating got killed, what I was grateful for was that I think I said I had supportive friends, and I had and they found and they caught the killer fast.
Okay.
That's what I was grateful for. It sucked, it was horrible, but
Right.
I at least tried to find that one in there. So that's what it was. That's what that was for. It was for other people who, like myself, may have been experiencing depression or anxiety, or may not have noticed it and just wanted to kind of crawl and get out of that through journaling. And so that's what that was for. And I think that goes back into that healing piece, as far as like, there are some things that we just got to heal. I had no idea I was struggling that long with depression and anxiety.
Right.
I was just going normal. I was going to school, going to work, like, okay, my mama died, but let me, I can't make her name a disgrace. I got to keep going without actually dealing with it. I didn't go to grief counseling. I didn't do any of that stuff because, we wouldn't go to counseling, we talk to the pastor and pray about it.
That's right.
You don't go talk to no stranger.
That's right.
I needed some therapy.
or don't talk to anybody at all. Just keep it to yourself.
Quiet as a kept, we really all do.
That's what we do.
We all do, because like you said, even in our marriages, sometimes I struggle with communication. Because like I said, I kept a whole lot of things in, and it's just, and then you just fearful of being, I don't know, it's just.
You're just fearful of saying something that's going to be the big thing, be the wrong thing, and make it the big thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing something out there, because a lot of times we don't. It's like the reason why people don't go to the doctor, because they won't go to the doctor because they scared the doctor gonna tell them something wrong with them. When they already know something wrong with them. You already know something wrong with you. You scared he's gonna validate what you scared of.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I mean, you heard, I don't know if you heard it, but old folks, you say all the time, I wasn't sick till I went to that doctor. I was fine. I went to the doctor. Now you talking about I ain't got but 6 months to live or whatever, so you blame it on that. And so if we don't hear the news, then the news ain't real.
Well, and then, like you said, like you say, if I have a disagreement, I want us to be able to agree and disagree disagreeably. Put it that way.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard. And we also been told, like, you don't tell everybody your business.
Yeah.
So keep what's in this house. And so you be like, okay, I don't tell
everything
nobody.
is Vegas, huh?
Right. But in the meanwhile, you out here talk about everybody else is doing the same thing that you're struggling with.
Yep.
They out there trying to get theirs taken care of, and you sitting at home talking about them. Oh, you see so they crazy. They did X, Y, Z. But they getting better and you not.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, so that journal came from a whole different place. But it came from a good place. I mean, it sounded like you need to put a shingle out. I don't know.
All this counseling and all this diversity, and look, you solving a lot of people's problems and listening to a lot of people's stuff.
I'm just living in my truth. And I feel like if God wants to continue to use me to be a person that like takes the mask off, who talks about the stuff that people don't want to talk about, then I'm gonna go ahead and do it. When you do this type of work in the South with these racist white folks, that's old racist. I'm talking about like 85 years old racist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't got no more fear. I'd be like, what y'all gonna do for me? I'm from Detroit. They be like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I'm from Detroit.
Right. Yeah, we kind of know how to handle ours.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. Then it said you were a consultant. Did you talk about this? The consultant at the Institute for Diversity and Inclusion in Emergency Management. What that all mean?
So, remember Hurricane Katrina?
Yeah.
Remember what FEMA did?
Or
didn't do?
Right. Right.
So this organization that I work for now actually helps to prevent that from happening. Okay. So we know that when crisis happens, it affects poor people and people of color at a disproportionate rate. So think about Puerto Rico. 2 years ago, I'm in Florida, so we always get hurricanes. But the hurricane that came through the Bahamas and ripped through the Bahamas into Puerto Rico. Yeah. And then think about like the lack of our response or the support, like how do we get the resources to them? So how do we start to embed diversity and equity practices within emergency management. Even, I don't want to say a client's name, but some groups that they do mission work, right? Okay. And it sometimes we have like this white savior complex, like, oh, I want to go to Africa and help these kids. I'm like, go to a rural part of Mississippi and help them kids. Like, go to Flint, Michigan, help, like, do this type of stuff. But so sometimes we'll have like these relief groups set up, these relief areas, but you set it up in a suburban area of town. So what's the point of setting up this shop in Farmington Hills when it was a flood off Cashew? Like, you can, like, the people that need the resources can't get out to Farmington Hills for the resources. But people don't think like that. Like, the people who create the rules and the policies typically don't come from disadvantaged backgrounds. So they don't even know how to be mindful of that, or why COVID has been how mental health has been impacting communities of color so much with COVID. One of the reasons is because people ain't going to church on Sundays like we used to. Granted, say what you say about church, but typically people still go in there. You go sharp, you be in there for about 3 or 4 hours. But for a lot of people, that is the reset that they've needed. And we've asked people. Now, granted, I have been going to Bedside Baptist for a long time, okay? Past the pillow and Sister Sheets. That's where I go every Sunday, okay? But y'all
you had that background, though. You had that foundation.
Right. But y'all may not be used to going to church online. Like, I'm telling you, like, I roll out of the bed, log on my phone, I can go to 3 services, boom, I'm good. But the older generation, y'all literally have been used to going into this physical space for years. So within 2 weeks span, now for that to be shut down and closed, and now we're trying to tell y'all to like zoom in on TV. My grandma literally looked like, I don't understand how to get this on my phone, on my TV. I want to see my friends. I want to be in community. I want to hug brother this and sister this. Like, I want to hear the kids sing. I want to hear the word. It's just different. And so people have to understand that. And so a lot of times we think about these crises and how it impacts people of color disproportionately. People need to understand that. So instead of finding these churches, because there was a lot of churches getting fined. And if you go to a church like my church growing up, we ain't got that much money to spare. So you find us and we're going to be done. But like, there are just different approaches, right? And then you think about it too, people weren't, how you said before, like, we don't trust going to the doctor, So a lot of Black people don't trust the science and medical stuff because it wasn't created for us. It was tested on us.
Tested on us. That's right.
But it wasn't created for us. So we don't really trust it all like that. So if you tell me about COVID and this, we don't believe y'all anyhow. Right? So people have to like understand that everything that we do and everything can't be centered around whiteness. And that's just kind of what we try to do within that organization. Just try to make sure that we are helping them understand what diversity is, what inclusion is, what equity is, how do we create these systems and give people what they need to survive. Everybody don't need the same thing. We clearly see that, we need something different than our neighbors who are, Hispanic or dealing with issues at the border. Everybody needs something different. It's about giving them what they need in order to be successful.
And something you said earlier struck me when you talked about the kids at the school wanting to come and they want to learn and they want to help Black folks and they want to be part of the struggle. And then when you tell them all the stuff that they got to do, some of them, probably most of them, walk away because it's too much.
I didn't know that until all that.
And the reason why I said it, because that reminds me in scripture where the rich guy wanted to know what could he do to join up with Jesus. And when he told him what he had to do, he walked away sad.
Like, nah, you asking too much now. I said,
I want to write a letter. I can't give up everything.
I want to do this, but I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up what I'm doing now. I ain't got that kind of time. I got to do why can't I just throw a couple dollars at it and hold my Black Power sign up and a sign say Black Lives Matter and I'll be good. Why can't I just attend a protest or a march? Actually, I don't want to go to a protest. Why can't I just, post on Instagram and I do my part? It's like, no, that's not what the actual work is. Right. And so that's why it
Or the person that said 20 minutes. You really want to help out, and
or the
you
ones
you only had 20, you barely had 20
Right.
minutes.
right, or the ones that go there and start tearing up stuff
Mm.
and we get blamed for it.
Or yeah, tearing up cemeteries. I was like, Black folks is not going into no cemeteries and flipping over nothing over. We believe it's bad luck to go to a cemetery at night, and we ain't trying to go by no cemetery.
Right. Don't want to go in the daytime.
Oh,
We
no.
are right. We are not vandalizing no cemetery saying Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna tell you that for a fact.
Yeah.
I know for sure.
Yeah.
But we get blamed.
Right. Mm. So sounds like, I mean, it don't sound like you've been involved in a lot of really important stuff, and it's strange that in the time that we in that you're dealing with it as well, because this is like not since the 60s has it been like this. I mean, it's rough. Hey, you done froze up on me again. Oh,
Yeah, it's been pretty rough. Huh? I'm freezing?
No, you good. You good. You
Okay.
had for a second.
Oh dang. But yeah, so yeah, it's definitely been rough. I started doing this work 10 years ago. So of course Obama was in office and things were different. So in 2016, it was literally like a shock because everything that my job stood for, the person in the White House went against it.
Yeah.
And I didn't experience that, of course, with Obama. So I was like, hey, I'm used to like just a different expectation of the direction that we're going in. And that was just not the case.
Right.
So it's been hard. And granted, I have been in the South. So it has also just been a different experience, like seeing the Confederate flags. I don't know where they were in Michigan. I ain't see Confederate flags in Michigan. I ain't seen them until I went to Ohio for college, and we ain't play that. It was a whole bunch of Detroit kids like, bro, you're gonna take this down, and he took it down. Yeah. And I got to Texas, and I just see him everywhere, and I was like, y'all just gonna let that happen? It's like, yeah. I was like, excuse me. Yeah. So it's been pretty hard. But what I've been trying to focus on is the healing aspects of it, because this is all mental warfare. You know, this is all to drain us.
Keep your breath.
If you think about it, even if you think about it, how do y'all think all of these videos of these Black people being killed are being distributed? Now, some people are distributing, like if I'm there, I will make it go viral to let people know. But it's psychological warfare people are having. Yeah. These news outlets, these folks want to continue to traumatize us for either two things. They want you to, one, be traumatized by it, or two, be desensitized. Yeah. We should never be desensitized to the killing of unarmed Black people. Right. Yet we see it so much to the point to where we can say, we saw what we saw the headline, I don't need to see anything else, right? And they want to tire us down and wear us down. Like, we were not created, like most of us as individuals. Now, granted, your daughter, she's used to seeing dead bodies. We not. Right. The psychological part of that, like, so when you see people get killed on camera, we are not trained to unpack that and deal with that. Right. First responders are, military folks are, police officers are, they are trained for that. Doctors are, we're not trained for that. Right. And yet we start to see it. Was Freddie Gray, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, we're seeing all these surveillance videos, and they continue to do that. They continue to make us desensitized to it, so that it starts to become normal that a Black person is killed. Think about it back in the 60s and the 50s when Black people were lynched. Yeah. They left that body there so people can see it. Yeah, exactly. And we can see it, we can be tormented. We either gonna see it enough to where it don't bother us, or we're gonna see it and we're gonna be tormented and mentally messed up in the head.
Right. So we'll stay in line so that won't be us.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we got to ask this question because we asked it on everybody on the show, but wow. Wow. So let's go get a little light with it for a second. You know, the show is Things My Mother Never Told Me. That's the name of it. And so we always ask our guests, is there anything, you know, obviously you've been through a lot, you've seen a lot, you've done a lot. Is there anything that your mother didn't get opportunity to prepare you for? It's something that you saw, you dealt with, and you said, wow, I wish my mother had told me about that.
Honestly, just being an adult, this is the most frustrating thing, is being an adult, okay?
Yes.
And insurance is a scam. Any type of insurance, car insurance, health insurance,
Life
renter's
insurance.
life insurance.
Yes.
Insurance, you pay for insurance in the hope that you never use it.
And if you use it, you get
You
penalized,
get penalized
for
for
using it.
using it.
That's what mama didn't tell
Hey,
me.
Mona, what's the name?
Like insurance is a scam. Everything is, but adulting is just kind of like, why? It's like you literally you go to work all day, right? You deal with other people all day because no matter where you work, you're probably dealing with someone external. Doesn't matter.
Right.
So you deal with someone else, whether it's customers, work, or whatever. And then you got to come home. And I don't have no kids, but imagine having kids. You got to make sure they like fed and cleaned and they do their homework.
You get stuff ready. Yeah.
All of that. And then you got to just do it all again. Like the clock winds down for you to go to bed, for you to wake up and do it again. And no matter what they say about how much you love your job, it's the fact that I actually have to wake up and I'm too tired to like clean up sometimes.
Mhm.
So I got to figure out, am I going to clean up or am I going to get a little bit more sleep or am I going to make my lunch? And if I don't bring my lunch, I got to spend money to buy food. It's just adulting.
Yeah.
Adulting and insurance. I wish somebody would have told me that it wasn't that deep to adult.
That's why I used to tell my son, let him write out the checks. When we was teaching him, when I was teaching him about money, and then he was up there saying, "Dang, man, that's a lot of money." And then, like you said, I show him a checkbook, and he was going through it, and I said, "Your mother wish she had every penny for every check that she wrote back."
Listen, and it's like, I think the thing is that you got to pay your rent and stuff every month. I think that's the thing, is just like, we don't get like a free month. And let's keep it real. Even within the US culture and the whole Christmas, whatever we do, you would think that rent wouldn't still be due on the 1st when we know we just bought out for Christmas. That's just inconsiderate.
Well, but they'll let you take a break for a fee.
Right.
For a fee. But you know the funny thing, you mentioned that. I remember when Jason and Jasmine were in school and it came time around for summer vacation. And I'd be like, "Oh, summer vacation." I'd be so happy. And I said, "Wait a minute. I still got to go to work. I don't get a vacation. I work." And so, adulting is and we've had a lot of young folks say that.
Yes, we have.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It's not. And you got to keep doing it.
Life is difficult. That's why we we pray for our children. We pray for all of it because it can be hard
until you retire.
And we want to protect you till the day you die, but we can't. You got to still take your bumps and your lumps and your.
But I said we was gonna make it light, but that wasn't really light. It was light. You know what I mean? It was still a little heavy.
Man, I'm telling you, adulting is like one of the worst decisions I've ever made was to do this whole adulting thing.
No, because what's the alternative?
Parenting is rough.
What's the alternative?
I could have went back to college 5 or 6, 7 times and been living off student loans for the rest of my life.
Yeah, because we do have professional students, don't we?
Listen, that's what I could have did.
Okay.
I wouldn't have no money.
Yeah,
my credit score would be bad.
But you wouldn't need none, would you?
Eating food on campus.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Okay. Woo. So you volunteer with Habitat for Humanity? Yeah, how's that?
I love it. So we actually have an all-female build crew called Alachua Women Build, and it's just all women. And so I like to volunteer, but I also I have the attention span of a squirrel. I'm a millennial, yes. I can't do too much at once. And so I need to do stuff that I can work with my hands. And so I've always wanted to be like a construction worker, but I grew up and I was told girls can't do that and this. So I never followed the construction path. And so, but this one just really makes me feel like I'm a project manager, construction worker. We built 3 houses that I've been a part of, and it's all women on the build crew. The only man that's there is like our volunteer lead. And he's our volunteer construction lead or something like that. But from drilling to putting stuff up in the house, we literally start with a slab of concrete and holes for plumbing. That's it. We frame the house out. We build it, put
Wow.
everything. The Habitat puts the roof on and does the electricity. We do everything else. They also lay concrete for like the driveway, and then we get like outside groups to donate like the flowers and stuff that go around the house to make the grass. Landscaping. Yep. So they'll do that, but we do everything. So it's been really good. It helped me because I used to be scared of power tools. Well, I never really had them. I would see my mom and I'm like, I ain't touching that. But now I just have like a lot more confidence when it comes to power tools. I can fix stuff. I made a bookshelf, like an actual bookshelf in the wall. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
But also, it makes me pay attention to detail because I hurt myself when I don't. So like you would think that nailing something was simple. It is not. I'm actually, everyone jokes on the scene that I'm the best nail taker outer than I am actually the nailer, because you have to like be focused. And if not, you're gonna hit your thumb and it's not gonna feel good.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I was like young, I was like 30, like I'm young. All of these older women, like I'm
don't say 40.
No. They're like 60.
Oh,
60,
okay.
67. They older. But I was like, I'm stronger than them. No, they were stronger than me.
I know.
I was like, oh.
You should have seen me when I went to the gym with them. I'm like, they all up there. They got the yoga down pack, and I'm all over the place. And they was like, y'all keep coming, you get it. And they was like 70s, and I'm like I said, early 40s. So they was 70, had bodies like a 30-year-old.
And you was like, oh.
Because they committed.
Oh my goodness.
And so the last thing I want to ask you, probably we're gonna let you get out of here, is you've been posting some Instagram videos with you cooking. Talk about that real quick.
So I got a ninja. Yeah, the ninja foodie was going off in the background, right? The timer. So I've actually I've been a millennial that has pretty much spent my whole paycheck on eating out at restaurants. And so when COVID hit, I was also like, I ain't about to do that no more. I need to cook, right? I need to be an adult. I was turning 33. I need to be a grown-up, but I wasn't ready to be a grown-up. But I ended up getting a ninja foodie for my birthday. And I was like, okay, let me experiment. And I tried to start like making stuff that I like to eat at home, because we don't trust the COVID streets now. So I was like, I ain't want to do it. So I've just been really getting more focused and just getting into the process of like cooking and like the seeing like the start to finish and being patient, because your girl is not patient. Okay. And I just want to be able to like provide for myself a little bit more. And I've been experimenting, and I just feel like I'm a real life adult now that I'm actually cooking. The cleaning part is the difficult part. But my whole thing is that you got food at the house. My mom used to always say that before, when I was little and stuff like that. And so now I'm just like, girl, do not go spend $30 on food at a restaurant. You got food at the house.
Right.
So I'm trying to do that, trying to actually cook the groceries that I buy, because I don't. They just sit there and they die in the refrigerator. So yeah, and I feel like I'm gonna get a whooping if my meat go bad, but it goes bad because I don't cook. So yeah, I'm getting better at it. I still don't know how to fry fish, and I still don't know how to make gravy. But hey, I can't be perfect. Okay, I'm growing. So
that's right. And as long as we're growing, we're doing good.
And all that.
And if y'all got any recipes, send them my way.
Okay. They do have YouTube now.
It be YouTube, but it don't be people who kind of look like us with the seasoning.
With the season, they got a few of us out there, girl. Go.
Right. One thing for sure, they tell you to put raisins in some potato salad.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Raisins.
Stop that video immediately. Okay. So, anything else you want to ask her?
No, that was pretty good. I'm like, she got me with the holistic part, and I went and I started researching and looking it up, and I was like, oh, this is something that somebody's always been telling you, though.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Eat to live, all that kind of stuff. So,
is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners?
I just love y'all. I really
love you
do.
too. We love you too.
We've been in this. I've known y'all since oh my goodness.
I know.
Ninth grade.
It was ninth grade, but I don't want to say the year because that's gonna put me to 19 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Been a
Oh
long
no,
time.
I love y'all.
And you've
And
grown so beautifully too. I'm telling
Thank you. Thank
you.
you. I'm a grown-up now.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
But no, I really love that y'all are staying active and staying like committed to just changing the narrative when it comes to the
Yes.
Black family. I appreciate y'all changing the narrative, and y'all really infusing and leading with love. I think that that's the ultimate thing we can do. Even the Bible says is the greatest of all things are
Yes.
love. And I think that when you continue to show love, genuine love to each other, to other people, to your kids, to your community, and just put love and passion in the projects and stuff that you do, it exudes it. So all the positive energy y'all been giving since the quarantine, you know for sure somebody has been blessed by it, someone has been saved by it. And if there was ever a time when we needed the love and the light that y'all have, that time is now. So that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you.
And for everybody out there,
You're
listening,
welcome.
we did not prompt nor pay her for saying that.
Nope, sure did not.
No, we did not. And I was just telling
Didn't
my
expect it.
Sunday school class that the family is the primary source that God uses to grow his kingdom
Yep.
and his people. The
Yep.
primary. So we gotta love, we gotta act, you know what I'm saying, like he acts. We gotta show ourselves approved.
Yeah,
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's no joke.
right.
We already know he has a plan, but you know, sometimes he let us go our own way.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we're in this pandemic.
See, that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave everybody with this right here. The last line of your bio. PJ knows her calling is to empower others to be unapologetically bold, authentic, and fearless.
Mm-hmm.
And we want you to keep on doing that.
Yes.
Thank you. I definitely will.
Right, because I'm telling you, all that you talked about today, I know you will. I know you are. And we love and appreciate you for everything that you've been doing.
I already like my
Thank
Black
you.
identity.
For being a good friend to our daughter through all this as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah, we appreciate and love you. And how your sister doing?
Thank you. She's doing good. She's back in Detroit. So she's
Okay.
doing real good now.
All
Cool,
right.
cool.
All right,
All
doctor.
Mhm. Dr. Jones. See,
Right.
I let her have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I hear you. All right, PJ, you take care.
Yeah, we ain't gonna hold you no
ain't
longer,
gonna
but
hold
we
you no more.
appreciate you. We love you, and we thank you. Thank you for joining in with us on tonight.
And you froze up on us too.
I don't know what that's all about, but anyway.
I don't know. Y'all just froze smiling. So
Right. It froze. It froze. I don't know if it was on our end or your end, but it froze and boom, like it froze again. But you
it's
go ahead.
probably my
Yeah, probably is because we very
great.
Yeah, we very well freeze.
Yeah, you was looking for headphones.
All right, you take care now. We
All
love
right, then. Talk to you soon, sweetie. Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye, PJ.
Love you too.
See ya.
All right,
Bye
See
bye.
you. And for those
Brandis.
for those folks out there listening, next week we're gonna try to have a theme song. We out of here.